I live directly across the lake, just about downwind from the plant, and my daughter suffers from Wegener's granulomatosis, which is an immune disease, which if she gets anything in her lungs, she's going to die. And I went to the city council, and I watched this lady who lives in Eau Claire speak to them, and I, who live in Chippewa, can't talk to the city council, and I was kind of annoyed at that.
I first became involved with my friend Pat Papa, who's our leader, and the reason I started to become very actively involved is that I was stunned to find out that our city council would okay this type of heavy industry at the edge of our city, but it's also near Parkview Elementary, where I teach and love my kids, Monkey Business Daycare, and the YMCA, and that type of industry would be located near children. Mm-hmm. And that we have 34 buses going through the roundabout every day, and they will be in amongst the hundreds of trucks. And this is very much a concern for my staff, myself and the staff at our school. I also live by Mary Brunstead, and my husband and I feel that we have really not had a chance to voice our opinions. Because my husband has a business in Chippewa, I have been able to talk a couple of times at the city council meetings, but my neighbors have not been. So we feel that we have not had representation, but we are very much impacted our health, our property value. And so I have a lot of reasons for being here, and I'm passionate about this, and I am disappointed in Chippewa Falls for the very first time of having lived here for so many years, because I love it here. I love beautiful city, the kids I teach, but they've made a decision that's going to impact them, the children of our community, not just now, but in the future, their health and their well-being. And this is a serious matter, and I am upset.
I'm kind of sick and tired of the fact that our elected representatives don't pay any attention to what the citizens have to say. And it was quite apparent that when the city of Chippewa Falls annexed this property and never even mentioned that it was going to be a sand plant or anything, or any implications, health implications or anything else, they just completely ignored. You know, they never did any research about anything. The county government didn't seem to care, you know, about all the, you know, the pollution, all the problems on County S, you know, and it's just a real injustice that's been actually what I like to say perpetrated upon the citizens of Chippewa Falls and Chippewa County, and it's going to be an ongoing thing. I mean, this is not going to be here today and gone tomorrow. They're going to talk 50 years. Anyway, I'm tired of our representation from some of the people that are in our government.
Once this is here, I mean, it's here, and I mean, this is you know, others can follow. Other heavy polluters could come in. It's just a bad first step. I mean, it really potentially is.
One of the reasons I got involved is that I spent the first 20 years of my life in Waukegan, Illinois, which is now one of the greatest Superfund sites in the United States. I grew up as a child where my parents were bamboozled with all the other citizens into believing that all the heavy industry pouring pollutants into Lake Michigan would not affect anyone. It now has the highest PCB rate in the nation, probably in the world. It has numerous health issues, but most of the workers and people who live there have left the town because all the businesses went out of business. At some point went through bankruptcy because of all the claims against them by their workers and by the citizens in the community. And so there were no more jobs that all these companies provided. And now trying to do any epidemiological studies on people's health, and my background is in health, are impossible because we don't know where all these people live anymore. So there have been some books written about it. There is a lot of research being done about it. I know a lot of people that have had health issues. I don't think it's any accident that most of the people in my young life have died young, or that most of the people my parents worked with have died of cancer. So I don't believe heavy industry for a second anymore. And I also was involved on the edge of the mine in Ladysmith, where Rio Tinto zinc came in. made a lot of promises and pushed their mind through. And I think that that will have some long-term repercussions. And I also just, like Mary, our children are the same age as hers. They're in Washington and Texas. They're watching this very closely, very carefully. They're very concerned. And they also are concerned in learning about how you have to get involved in government and pay attention and things like that. So that's one of my many reasons for getting involved.
When we first heard about the sand plant, I could not believe that the city itself, the council, would put something like that close to, as Cheryl mentioned, a daycare center, an elementary school, a subdivision, a hospital, and an elderly worth just over the hill from the plant. And that bothered me that, you know, we're all individuals. We all want to live a good quality of life. And for that to be put into the city and in town, that wasn't the appropriate place for that. And we've only been here for a little over 3 years, but I guarantee you, if we had come and saw the sand plant in town, we would not have bought in Chippewa Falls. And we looked at houses all the way from Fall Creek to Hudson when we came up here. And we chose Chippewa Falls because of the town, the atmosphere in the town, the hospital that was here, the friendliness of the people, and that's too much to lose over something that is probably going to be a detriment if it ever is built.
What's in the application is meaningless unless it's written as a contract. In our situation, the BOA gave Fairmont permission to build a factory and a mine based on the need of Cardinal Glass to have sand. And with the agreement, the trucks would not travel on 1229. Well, only a year has passed, and July 29th, they're back for the 4th time to the county BOA, demanding that they be able to truck on 1229, saying that less than 25% of their product will be going, possibly, to Cardinal Glass, that most of the product will be exported.